In the heart of Manitoba, music isn't just a sound, it's a lifeline. Behind the Music takes you on a journey through the lives of local artists, revealing the raw passion that fuels their creativity. From the cramped basements where they hone their craft, to the electrifying moments on stage, we explore their inspirations and the struggles they face along the way. Each story is unique, yet they all share a common thread, the relentless pursuit of their dreams. Discover how these artists channel their experiences into powerful melodies and witness the transformative power of music as it connects us all. Join us as we celebrate the voices that shape our community and inspire us to keep pushing forward.
And we're live.
All right.
Perfect. Introduce yourself, buddy.
Hi, I'm Robert Andreas. I'm a blues artist. I'm based out in Winnipeg. I came from Europe, mainly Italy. I'm a recording artist, and yeah, that's what I do. That's where it ends. Yeah.
So, what's your band's name and what's the story behind it?
So I went through, and you know this. I went through that Redemption band at the beginning, and the Redemption. That was actually a funny story because it was Luc van der Donk and John Paul. John, the drummer, two drummers that John joined after, but Luc van der Donk was in the recording, and Stan the Man, Stan Cocaine, Kerry Dorkson, Victor Scholler, and Derek Lobo was actually behind that record. And I was in the middle of writing. I just wrote Redemption. I was in the middle of writing that, and the guys named themselves Redemption after the album. And the story behind Redemption was basically the messaging album that was redemption. It's a heavy word because you know everybody interprets it like different, right? You can think about redemption on your own redemption. You can think about faith, your redemption and faith, and what redeemed you, or it can also be a healing. You redeem yourself from a healing. And the thing is, um, the album itself is chronologically representing my life, who I was. And that band sticked around for quite a bit. I think it was about a year, and we were very busy. After I released that album, we were like going around, and the guys were like, "We're the Redemption Band," and I'm like, "Man, you know what? That sounds very good." And Robert Andreas and the Redemption, that was it. And that got out there. And then right now it's just Robert Andreas, but I do have my band, my um it's just basically with Peter being behind me, the manager, and stuff is just they just label it and commercialize. Then you know all about that, right? You know what that is about. It. So basically, just my name out there up front as Robert Andreas. But the new album that's coming out, it's actually called Just Another Day, which represents the today's time and what I'm going through. It's a side A, what I've been through in the last year, and side B is what I'm going through currently. So but that was the meaning behind redemption. It's funny because everybody asks me what's the redemption means. Every interviewer. Jeff, you're part of that.
Well, and some people like to know that stuff, right? Kind of the story
Yeah,
behind what makes the name.
yeah, they do. Yes.
So, what genre do you kind of float towards
So
the most?
the last album was, oh my god, was some blues. So I mean there's blues in there everywhere because the blues is my foundation, right? But the last one was blues and a little bit of classic rock. There was a little bit of reggae rock actually. The new album is what I did. I took the blues and I took the reggae and I combined it together. And I came out with this cross genre, like a reggae blues roots. Um, you can hear it. And you know what? I've been catching myself playing a little bit of a more sub rock as well lately, and it's for me to label the genre of music is it's insane because I write these songs and it's basically coming out of me. It's a healing process for me. It's like me talking to you right now, right? It's like talking to a song, which is I feel more comfortable doing. But it's if I have to analyze it and put a stamp on it, that's what I would probably say is more of a blues reggae kind of kind of a feel to it. And I always been into reggae actually. I always been into it. It's Bob Marley and the Wailers, and we've talked about and all sorts of reggae, like from the south and reggaeton from actually Colombia as well. I love the beats. I love those also the Afro beats. Those are actually something I always looked up to. And yeah, in my music, but yeah, it's more of a reggae blues. I'll say.
Okay, cool, cool. So then, in Robert Andreas, what's your position? Like, what do you play?
I'm a lead guitar player and a lead singer. Yeah, and writer. I mean, I write lots of stuff with the help of my bands. You know how that process is.
Yeah.
You wrote quite a few, and it's like you come up with the idea. But you're basically I'm a lead guitar. I'm considered a frontman, but I got to give credit with everybody behind me because I wouldn't be here without those guys.
Well, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The band counts, right?
The band counts tremendously, and like more than the frontman, I'll say. But yeah, yeah.
So then, kind of walk us through what a month of being your musical self is, your creative side, not your personal side.
So okay, so that's crazy. You know what? You were the first one who asked me that, and I've been all around. I've been everywhere. Everywhere I've done the short TV shows. I've been to C jobs, CQWs. I've been everywhere, CHBN, and you're the first actually interview who asked me like, what's your like what's like to be in that creative process of mine, and it's great. In the last 7 months, music has been pouring out of me like crazy. So I could be literally, it could be a late evening or like an early morning. I wake up and I just pick up the guitar instrument and there's a song coming out. And that's what it kills. And that's what scared me in the last 6 months because it's like for me to flow that much music. And I'm always studying, but I got about 85 songs in the last 6 months,
Oh wow.
which is insanity. And are they all finished and ready to be put on tape? No, they're not. But they're ideas. They're very strong foundations. And it's to me to write, you see, when people get depressed, and I mean and I've been there, I shouldn't say people, but when you get depressed sometimes you need that therapy, or you need some boost, you need, you need some medication, you might need you might need some help, some professional help. I play, and that does it for me, you see. Or if I'm heavy hearted, or if I'm happy, or if something's going on in my life, I put it into music. And for me that's a way of me putting things out and actually communicate. um but from a professional point, like from an engineering point, it's funny because I work a lot with a lots of, I mean, I have a Mac, and I work with that, so I write ideas and I write them out and I lay down the foundation. It's basically a finished product to them, and then I introduce it to the band, and then they listen to it, and then we take it from there. But um it all starts with the guitar. It all starts with the drums and the guitar first, and then it goes down to bass lines, and then after that you add on what you want to add. But lately I've been blessed with that, and then it stopped for a bit. And lately it stopped because I got very busy, and it stopped. I stopped writing for a bit, but every time I pick up the guitar, there's something going on. There's something that needs to come out, and I think it's also just a matter of good timing in my life where I'm standing right now to kind of be able to pull this stuff out. It was inside there for a reason, and it's coming out for a reason.
Oh,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's good. So then, we'll kind of dive into the first days of Robert Andreas then.
Oh boy.
So what about, what was it that first hooked you on music?
Um. Well. Okay. Well. First thing first. My father, my biological father, he's a musician, and he is a guitar player, and he's also a bass player. And his father, my grandfather, used to be a very famous drummer in East Europe, which I didn't know that about until about like maybe 10 years ago, because I didn't got to meet him. So I mean, I got to meet him, but he was at a very end stage of his life, so I didn't got like to grow up with him, and be like, "Hey, who are you? What's this all about?" But then I heard stories, and I heard this thing. So my first introduction to music was actually through a radio. Through actually, what got me hooked was actually the blues through a radio. I had a My grandfather used to have a radio in Romania, and it was hooked. I hooked it up to a satellite dish, and I moved it, and I picked up a frequency. This is the kind of kid I was. I used to give my grandmother gray hair, when she was young. And I moved it, and I heard this foreign language saying something, and then blah blah blah, and then they said American music, and then BB King came on, And BB came in with a Thrill Is Gone, which was super heavy. And then after that, they played Eric Clapton, Have You Ever Loved a Woman? And after that, they played Hideaway by Freddie King. And I was like, what's that sound? And I had a cassette recorder, and I pressed the cassette recorder right in front of the speaker of the radio, and I recorded that. And I still have that cassette. And I remember I was about, I was seven. I was 7 year old. And I grew up poor, so my family couldn't afford to buy me, like my grandma couldn't afford me to buy me a guitar. So the next day, the previous day, I was obsessed with this tape, and I was listening to on repetition. Um, it moved me. I couldn't even understand the language. I couldn't understand what it was, but the blues music moved me, and it touched me. And next day, one of our neighbor passed away, and the kids cleaned out her apartment, and they threw a Yamaha G27 guitar acoustic into the garbage. So I threw myself in the garbage, and I picked it up. I went back home. I cleaned it. I had 3 strings, and that was the beginning of my journey. That was how I started playing.
That's awesome, man. No, that's
Yeah.
really inspiring too, right?
Well, I mean, think about it now that I got 6 strings and an electric guitar. I mean, I came far away from 3 strings to 6 strings. You know.
Broken strings don't matter to you anymore.
Well, I guess, but yeah, yeah.
So then, who inspired you to start creating your own?
You know, previously I worked with so many people on on their stuff, and when I got out of it, I was sick of that the things of like being serious and like no, but just like thinking of creating a hit and thinking like people always push you, left and right to try to make music that sells and stuff. And then I don't know, when I moved to Canada, like it was just a matter of like for me, it's like I kept on playing and then stuff, and I just I know one day I got up and I said, screw it, I'm gonna be myself and see what happens. And I did it. And I did it with a mindset of making music for myself, you see, not for people. And I put it out there and I didn't care if people liked it or not. I didn't care of like that tension. And I still today I don't. It's for me, it's like being on stage and playing in front of people. I love that. It's what I'm meant to be, and I know that that's what I'm meant to be. So I don't sound like I'm not appreciative of the following and the support, but mainly the reason is like I don't write hits. I just write music, and the music comes from a place internally, and it's serving me first, and then others after. It might sound selfish, but I mean is true. And it's like, and if someone relates to that song, it's like, and says, you know what, I've been through that helped me, and lately people has been reaching out saying that to me, that means I'm doing it, you see. It's I don't care about the fame, I don't care about the money, and I definitely don't care about attention, but people tend to appreciate what I'm doing, so I'm really really appreciative of that. We've been packing up houses and clubs in Winnipeg, and it's been good, it's been great. So yeah, so basically that's what it is. It's like it's a self-therapeutic way and of doing it, and it's more, and I love the process. I love the process of songwriting. I mean, you're writing lyrics, you're writing songs, you're writing melodies, and putting it together is not easy. You gotta make it, has to make sense. It has to have a beginning, it has to have an end, and it has to have a story. And what's your story to tell, and how are you gonna tell it? Because there's only 7 notes in music. I mean, realistically, if you think about a major scale, there's 7 notes, but putting those in the right combinations between the flats, the major, the thirds, and the ninths, and making sure that stuff like, so sometimes I tend not to think too much about it because I don't want to overwork it. I want to lose the authenticity of it. um but it's a beautiful process, and it's, I don't know, when you do it, it's like, and you play it live, it's I did a show with Glenn Kaiser, and Glenn actually played a very big role in my life, which I want to shout out to him as well. If he's watching, if he's gonna probably watch this, I'll send it to him. But Glenn played a huge role with his gospel blues, and when we brought him to Winnipeg, when we finally met, he mentored me for a bit, and through his music and through his words and wisdom, and he's a brother, and we did this show November 2nd at Moore Gospel Church. I premiered a song called "There Goes My Heart," and I remember being so fearful of releasing that tune live at the moment because it was very personal. It was like it's come from a place of me saying goodbye to the old me and hello to the new me. The changes I've been through life and putting an end to the past and focusing on me. And I remember closing my eyes and playing the song, and I remember opening my eyes and I got a standing ovation. People were standing on their feet at the end for like quite a few minutes and clapping, and that just confirmed that everybody's with me on that page of like, healing and then getting and press that reset button in life, which you have to sometimes. You
Yeah,
have to,
absolutely.
we all been there, and that was just a statement of approval. So yeah, so that's what the process is behind that music. It means a lot to me, and it's a big part of me.
Okay. So to anyone that maybe hasn't heard your music, how would you describe it to them and do
Oh
it in
boy.
kind of like a do it as if it's not you, but you're listening to your own music? How would you describe it?
Oh boy. And you're gonna laugh now because you and I had this conversation actually a while ago. So it's, you know what, Jeff, it's like uh I listen to the masters when they're done, and I never listen to myself. I hate doing that. I hate listen. Even when I see clips and see, I post them because I have to. But I'm being told to. But I hate myself on the screen, and I hate listening to. But if you were to listen to my music, I don't know. I mean, I mean, I hope you like it. I mean, I know it's, probably realistically will be, you hear my influences a lot. I mean, I'm and I gotta be honest about it, because I mean, probably people, as Dylan from DB and Davis, is probably watching this. And Dylan,
Yep.
um, what is he called? German Clapton. He calls me German Clapton. Then there is Gary Gatch. He calls me the Pope of Blues. And then there is other people calls me, and you definitely hear the influences of the blues music. And if you're a blues lover, I think me and my music would be something you would listen to. But also, I encourage people. When people listen to my music, I always thought. I mean, I always hope that people don't listen from a genre or like perspective, and they listen to like what's the meaning of it. I mean, that's how. And this is the thing. This is how I listen to music. It's like when I listen to a song, and one of my favorite songs of yours is Mirrors, because I listened to that quite a few times, and that was like when you introduced me to that song. That was a beautiful song. And when I listen to it from an artist's perspective, and I listen to it like, because I worked on that, but then when I listen to when you mixed it, and I listen to what's Jeff talking about here, what's going on in this song, then you understand the true purpose of it, and I feel it. You see, that's usually, and if it's something that doesn't move me, I don't usually listen to. But um, I'm pretty open minded to all genres, but it's. I really hope that the listeners that they listen to my music, they will probably hear the influence of the blues behind, maybe Freddie and Eric and Robert Cray, Buddy Guy. This is probably the things that would come in surface for a general listener, and then they will probably listen to maybe the rhythm. I mean, it's very unique, especially this new album. It's a very unique genre, and it's a very unique rhythm and patterns and timings, and there's lots of double times. There's lots of half time from a regular time in the middle of the song, like you'll feel a solo, and all of a sudden the time changes with you, and it just goes into. So it's a trip that you're taking, with me onto that, and it's a diving in. So that's probably what I'll say. They probably feel like. And I mean, I hope I'm right, but I hope you know. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I think they listen to. And I never. And you got some tricky questions today.
Well, people got a lot of questions that never
You got good. I
too
really
scared
love
to
this.
ask. Right?
You put me on a spot, and I done this quite a lot. But you really put me on a spot. I love this. You know.
So then, what I always like to do, because you're Winnipeg based now, like you were
Correct.
international blues star and stuff like that, right? But you mostly kind of lay your hat in the Winnipeg area,
Correct.
right? So out of everyone you've ever played with or watched throughout the Winnipeg scene, who would
Oh,
you most likely want to collaborate with?
oh, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I'm isolating you, buddy. It's got to be within Manitoba.
Oh boy. Oh my God. Now everybody. Um, Oh man. Okay. So I I've seen a lots of artists in Winnipeg, and even now I'm sitting here and I'm talking about it. I can't believe, and I'm saying this very in a very confident manner, in a very realistic way. I can't believe how many, many great musicians are in this town, are in the city. I mean, you would go, you would go to places, and you'll find the two, three top rated artists in cities, and I've been there before, and I heard it and I seen it. And then you go to a scene. But in Winnipeg is like every bar you go to, there's always something. There's always someone. There's always, and I worked with. Oh man, I worked with. I can't even name everybody I work with. I don't think I remember even everybody I work with. But um, I can tell you that a very good place where I've seen most talent, and I'm saying this most talent because it's a place that I've been to and I usually go to, and through that stage on a jam, I've seen people that are like underrated in my opinion, and they're like they should be out there and they should be on stages in stadiums. Um, One of the places I saw is at the Royal George on a Wednesday night with Gary, and Gary's one of them. You see, Gary Gatch is one of these guys that it's to me he's a guy, a very amazing artist, and he writes everything from folk to pop to country, and his music, his voice, his showmanship is amazing. Man, if I have to name everybody, I think, but I'm gonna name a few, but I'm not gonna name them all because, and again, we're on limited time, but there's like Curtis Newton is one of them. And he's a good friend of mine. He's a blues artist, and I really love Curtis. Every time I play with him, Greg Polo is another guy that I love a lot, and um, oh, Bram Avery, my brother Bram, like he's getting ready to release an album, and he's writing like, and he came and he sends me lots of demos, and I listen to lots of his music, and he's super talented. He worked with everybody as well, and I mean there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of artists that I really want to work with, and I really hope to get to work with everybody. A guy that someone that I haven't got to know as well as I want to. I want to, and it's not because we haven't like we don't get along, but we haven't got a chance. Like I met him a few times, but we never had the chance to sit down and talk. And is Brent Parkin is one of them, and Paul from oh my god, uh, I'm forgetting now. But anyway, Brent is one of them that I've seen. I've seen live, and I talked to him. Also, like we know each other, but I haven't got a chance to just sit with him and play with him. He would be a guy I would want to play with. Um, yeah, definitely, he's one of them. He's one of the out of so many. But there's a huge amount of talent here. Like there, like every like seriously, like if you go around the scene a little bit, and if you go around town a little bit, you will see lots of artists that and there's new ones coming. There's new kids on the block. There's like new kids that are taking it over, and my heart is just one of these kids that I'm pushing a lot. It's Arvin. It's Irving Miller, and he's a young folk, sounds like 50s, 60s, and he's a very good kid, and it's a guy that I'm pushing a lot and I'm encouraging a lot, and that's why I mean that's what we're supposed to do, is pass it on to someone, right? And for kids like Irving and Smoke, the band Smoke is actually a new band that came along, and they're starting up, and they're very good and very that 60, 70 areas of music, and seeing that happening, it just makes me relax, and it makes me feel like a dinosaur. It makes me feel old for some reason, Jack. Which I mean, it's great. I mean, I get it. I got to go out sometime. I gotta get out of it sometime. But, when you see these new kids on the block, you like, you see them, and your heart rejoices. And at the same time, you feel like you're a dinosaur because you get up there with them on stage, and they're all half your age.
You try to do
you
the
know,
same moves you did 20 years ago, and you break
Yeah,
something.
exactly. It brings me back. It brings me back to it's like, yeah. But yeah.
So then leading me into my next one, if you could open a show for any artist, who would it be?
Oh boy. If I could open a show for any artist, who would that be? Well, I mean, everybody will expect me to say Eric Clapton, so that's probably one of them. Uh,
Well, your
Eric.
version of Cocaine Man is still my favorite. So
Uh, um, Someone that I would love to open a show for. Well, it would be Eric Santana, probably second right there. Chris Stapleton would be another one.
oh yeah.
That are the new ones. But a guy that I would really die for to open the show for, who's no longer. There's two people that are very crucial to me that unfortunately passed away. I didn't get a chance to meet, but I meet BB's drummer Tony Coleman. I met him and we had the chat. But BB would have been one of them, and JJ Cale. You see, JJ would be someone underrated artist, but I mean, he wrote the hits that you like. Cocaine is JJ Cale. After Midnight is JJ Cale. Call Me the Breeze is JJ Cale. And you got Leonard Skinner. You got everybody. You know, Clapton playing that song. Everybody thought it was Eric or Leonard Skinner, but it's not. It's actually JJ. And he's a guy that was like I admired a lot, and I discovered him through Eric. And I went into his life and I looked very deep and I did some research on this guy and I listened to his records. I'm like, oh my god, like the finger picking is insanity. Insanity. Like you listen to his records, if you put the headphones on, you analyze what's going on, and you actually see him doing it. If you look at JJ playing with his hands, and he's very laid back. He's very laid back, and that's the one thing I love about him. He's not a nervous wreck, but it's like he's very laid back. His music is very laid back. But yeah, definitely that'd be something I would love. Unfortunately, I can't. Um, I can't say more, but that'd be something I'll be like doing anything possible to open for him. Like that would be, you know.
That's awesome. So with that, like if you had one message you could give to your fans, what would you tell them?
Um, if there's one message I can tell to my fan, what would I tell them? You know, it's funny. Um, the one thing I'll say, and I have it right here, and but hold on, because I gotta look it up. It is this. This is what I would say. Um, I have this quote that is it says, "Worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's trouble; it takes away today's peace." So one thing that I'll say to people to encourage me is like, don't worry about what's coming up tomorrow. Worry about today. Because I find that many of us right now, we worry about so much about the future. We worry about, well, I mean, everything going politically and everything. That's probably one thing. And two thing, and second thing is like, I want to thank them for everything. Because I mean, there's no me without them, and there's no me out there in public without them. And I had so much love, so much support, and so many people, and so much love, and I'm being very appreciated. I feel like I've been very welcomed in this city. I've been very welcome in this country, and I've been like very loved, and I feel privileged to be in a position where I'm at. And I can't say thank you enough, and I can't give the love back because it's an enormous amount of love that I've never felt before. So that's probably what I'm gonna say.
Okay, awesome. So I always like to kind of add in a little bit of comedy and humanity factors into these things. Showcase to people that it's not all seriousness, right? Like we
Right.
can joke, we can have a good time, just like everybody else, either on the stage, performer, or a fan, right? We all bleed the same in the end,
We're
right?
all humans. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
We are.
So
We are all humans.
I know I actually got asked this question a long
Oh,
time
boy.
ago when I did a newspaper interview, and I thought it was one of the most out of place questions ever, but it actually made sense. When it comes to what you do in music, what is the most useless talent that you have?
Oh shoot.
Right?
Okay. That's
It kind of
actually
shows you.
awesome. I never thought I got man, Jeff, you're nailing. What's the most useless talent that I have? Playing piano. I
Playing
would say
piano.
because you see, I mean, I'm able to sit down. I'm able to sit down and I'm able to put a chord progression together. Okay, but but that's where it ends. And I can I can write, I can solo, and I have a hard time singing if I'm playing the piano. I can so everything that I do on guitar, I can do on that instrument, but yet I do know that instrument. Another useless one, it's violin. I actually play violin. It was one of one of my first instruments, and I suck at it so badly. I suck at it, and I mean I don't want to get one. I mean Kella will go nuts if I start playing violin in the house. But I mean, it's it's something that, and I know how to play. I mean I can feel like I can tell which note is what and what am I do where my fingers needs to go. But that's that way. If you tell me to play a song, I suck so badly.
So piano and violin,
Keep that away from Robert.
eh? So then, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
You know what? I think I would probably be an airplane engineer. That was something that I always thought about. And either that or maybe a military police officer. Probably one of them. So law enforcement. But I don't think you see it's very funny. Every time and trust me, I did it so many times. I put the guitar where I'm done. Or like I'm gonna stop gigging and I'm gonna I'm not gonna record now. I'm just gonna write and keep. Every time I did something like that, it came beat me back in the ass so badly that I felt it for weeks and halves.
Yeah.
It's I can't get away from it, and it's like and I don't think. I mean, I don't think I would ever know that question really, but you know, realistically, I don't think I could ever. But this is probably what I would like to do. Is like if I wasn't a musician, I would probably become an airplane engineer or something. Because I love airplanes and I love engines and I love that. I love the whole physics about it, and mechanical things about it. Yeah, and you got mechanical skills because I saw your car.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Busted.
No, 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 no. I play guitar and drums. I don't touch wrenches. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
But yeah, that's one of many. I've had cars since I've had my license. I've always had a sports car. So
Yeah, yeah.
always,
That's
always,
fantastic.
you gotta have something to kind of because I know like with starting the music company and stuff. Well, you've probably found it too. With eventually you do something so much that your your love and your outlet needs
Mm.
love and an outlet. You know what I mean? Like you need somewhere to kind of debrief everything that was your original love and outlet,
Yeah.
move it into what your second one is to kind of debrief the first one. And then when the second
Yes.
one kind of needs debriefing, you go back to your first one, right? Like you kind of bounce those hobbies.
It's all and but you know what also it is. It's like it's also like think about the fact when you perform on stage and and you're spending 2.5 hours into a concert and you got everybody's and you can I can put a smile on these people's faces for 2 hours and make them forget what they're going through, make them forget their lives, make them forget their problems, their debts, their sorrows, their losses, or like whatever they going through. And you see everybody goes through things, but they all come down under the same roof for one particular reason. That's for music. So be able to do that, it just defeats all the others struggles that as a
Yeah.
human being and private person I went through. And it's like it reminds me of why I'm doing this, and it gives me even more motivation to keep doing it. And that's the beautiful part about it. You see, just don't give me a piano and violin and you'll be fine.
Well, next time you're out this way or I'm out that way, I might just have to hand you a violin so I can laugh at you.
Bring
So
your
when it
earplugs.
comes, so when it comes to, because you've kind of played all over the world, like not just Winnipeg area.
I've been around, and it's funny because I was talking to my dad. He's in Germany, and I was like, he's pushing me lately to go down there again. And it's my dad is just he has a radio station in Germany called Radio Power Love, and it started small, and he became a very big thing, and it became like he's recording, he's doing one thing after another and stuff, um, and we've been working together for a while, and now he's sending me some tracks over. He's like, "Can you cut this? Can you cut that?" And he knows I'm busy, so he's being like, but he's been pushing me out there. And there's actually a big blues fest in Munich. Happens every, I don't know if it still happens every year, but I've been there quite a few. I played it. It's huge, huge. Like you're talking like 20,000 people out there. And it's like it's the Harley it's there's the Harley Davidson Fest and there's like the Blues Fest happening. DK Hara, my a friend of mine from Louisiana. You maybe seen this kid. Um he's um he's a blues artist. He recently just got signed a couple days ago with Alligator Records. I met DK. Used to play used to play around and we connected through internet and I listened to incredible artist and incredible things what he's doing. He's been there. He's been to Germany quite a few times, and we've been actually lately, been talking a little bit more. But he's busy. I'm busy and stuff. But it's like it's good to see that the blues and this kind of music. And when I'm talking about this kind of music, I'm talking about music that again, I feel like a dinosaur. I feel like I'm extincting. That's why I'm reinventing myself millions of times to remind myself I'm not old. But it's like it's good to see that there is appreciation and you can still go out there. And I'm not saying this, and I wanna make this very clear. It's a statement. I'm not. It's not like I have something against DJs or like I think DJs are very cool. And I think it takes a lot of skills and stuff. But it really stuns me how people still appreciate everywhere around the world where you can show up with a guitar and an amp and sit on a chair and actually make something happen. It's coming back. I'm seeing it coming back more than we went through a period of time where it's like all digital music, and now it's coming back to the real deal again. It's coming back to the real instrumentation, to the real because playing, and having a lot of computer knowledge, and you can make a song by just sitting behind a mouse and a keyboard, and all you need is a mic to catch your vocals, and you wrote everything. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happening. I've seen it happen where like you get this like Cubase and other stuff that you can actually write the music and the AI makes it for you or something like that. See, I like that and I dislike that to a certain extent because I'm still old school. I still believe like you need to plug the guitar to input a mic. By now it's like no, Robert, you just plug the guitar to a damn box and you got all the amps that work.
Right? Yeah, it takes a bit to get used to.
And I
When I
love
first
that,
started,
and I love that because I start. You know what? I started messing with them and I started, finding, and I mean, I'm sitting right next to a Blues Deluxe right now, and I mean, and they have a Blues Deluxe digital, and it scares me because it sounds actually very close, and then
not
like,
far
holy
off.
cow, the engineering behind that, it's not far off at all, and you can see, and I love it as well because if you're in at 3 in the morning, you can plug it, you can plug a Blues Deluxe, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I mean, the whole household, so you plug to the thing, and I go to the headphones and it's and but going back to a point, yes, it's good to see that where I've been before, it's still going, and it's like and being on this side of the world, and I haven't been to the States yet. That's the one place I haven't been. This is my next stop will be this. I have so many commitments down there right now. I'm very tight in the States right now, and I'm very very well expected to be down there pretty soon. But it's just a matter of passports and some documentation happening right now. But I would love to pass through it and go visit BB King's museum and play around and do a couple of performances. I haven't been down there yet, but that's my next stop would be the States. So.
Nice, nice. So
Uh,
out of all the venues you've played, what was your favorite?
oh boy. Um, I have many favorites, but I can name you one of the most recent one that actually marked my life. It was Glenn Kaiser, November 2nd. And that show meant a lot to me because of the material I was playing that evening it was original music. It was like, I was testing water in front of like 400 or 500 people watching me play. And it was this huge sanctuary. It's like I'm testing my music out. I'm putting it out there to see, just to play my original material for my new album, and I didn't know and people seem to dig it. And then second, it was the amazing journey that I had with Glenn, which is one of my heroes, and I look up to him, and it's a good friend, and I learned a lot from him in the 3 days period that we spent together, and we spent together 3 days, and we went out, and one thing I learned about Glenn, and I'm saying this with probably he's a very humble guy. He's a very amazing guy. And I know he's watching. He's probably gonna watch this and smile and be like, "Oh, Robert, you." But this is the Glenn. Glenn is a guy that would pick up two screws and a string and a screwdriver, and he starts sliding on that, and he will outplay me and you put together.
Oh, really?
And the whole lesson for me, that those three is not what you is, it doesn't matter what you have, is what you do with it.
Well, that's just
And
it, right?
funny because Glenn built cigar box guitars, like, cigar box. And I recently had a fan of mine, and he built me a cigar box guitar, and then I start playing the slide a little bit more because I play slide as well, but I don't, not often. People haven't seen me playing slide much, but uh and then I start picking it up more, and then we went. I found Glenn Kaiser at 8:30 in the morning into a friend's house where he was staying, like drilling inside a little stick to put two screws in and put a string across, and he opened the entire show with that Bo Diddley. And
Oh, cool.
I swear it was incredible. There's some go online. There's some footage, and I was in the back, try not to get into people's, and I was in the back in the foyer, and I was just watching, my jaw just dropped about the big sound that it was, and a couple strings. We're talking three strings guitar, three strings, like one string Bo Diddley and a three-string cigar box guitar in a slide, and it was incredible. Like the big sound and his voice and everything.
Oh,
And he
wow.
played the album Spontaneous Combustion, which was my first introduction to Glenn Kaiser. And we played one of the albums that got me into Glenn Kaiser's music. And we play live. And that was a dream come true. That was on my bucket list. Make a gig with Glenn Kaiser. Check it off. And it's yeah, he's coming back. We're doing something next year, so it's in the preps right now. It's in the pot, it's cooking. But yeah, there's some stuff coming out with him again. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, do you have any upcoming shows?
I do have quite a few shows coming up. I'm playing a lot of Bell's Kitchen, as you probably noticed. I'm around Bell's Kitchen. Playing a lot of the George. I play the Blues Fest. Now the upcoming shows, it's I'm still like, if you go Robert Andreas, and if you go my page, like there's all the performances coming out. We try to keep it very organized and but sometimes, like, sometimes I forget, sometimes Peter forget. I had 6 gigs last month, and I moved in the meantime. It was a disaster. It was like, I'm working very hard right now, and I'm a little bit everywhere. But one of the main shows, it's in April, and we're doing this. It's a blues gospel country show. It's for the Children Foundation. It's a lots of artists coming in. Like, it's me and Sierra Noble, with the two of us. We're headlining the event, and then I mean, Lady Lee is gonna be there. Dino Dean is gonna be there. Oh man, like the list is like 15 musicians, and the rhythm section is killer. Like, we have organs, we have like backup singers, we have like piano, and then 3, 4 guitars on stage, and bass and drums and percussion. Like, it's gonna be a huge thing. It's gonna be a huge thing happening, and that's in April. I think that's April. I don't remember if it's the 19th or 20th. I don't know. It's on my page. If you go out there and you look at it. Yeah, that's probably the highlight. That's one thing that I encourage everybody to be at. And tickets are very cheap, and you can get the VIPs. I think the VIPs is 45, and you get a greet and meet in it too as well. So you get to meet all the musicians backstage. You're being taken backstage and see the process and talk to all of us and stuff, which is pretty affordable. But
It's decent, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then, what's your favorite song to perform of yours?
Oh, you kill me. Um, I don't really have a favorite song to perform to. I mean, if I were to pick a favorite song out of this album, would be "There Goes My Heart" and "Lost and Found." They're These two are probably like I think because I don't know, maybe the feel, the rhythm, but mainly what I've been asked a lot to perform is "Moonlight." I have this song. Okay, so I have this song called "Moonlight," and crazy thing about this song, I dreamt of it. I was dreaming I was in 19, I was in a 56, in a 56 Cadillac, in a Cadillac blue 56. And I was driving in the middle of the desert, and it was just the moonlight guiding me. And I'm homeless. The car is mint outside but wrecked inside, and I'm homeless. I'm trying to find a radio to listen to some music. And then when I turn on the radio with the knobs, the old school knobs, when I went to the band there, my song was playing Moonlight, and it was me singing it on the radio. So I woke up, almost killed myself, went downstairs, flipped that switch, put the headphones on, and I remember the whole thing and I cut it. And I still got the demo. You can hear me actually whispering the song because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Uh,
Tried to be too loud. And I plugged through it and I recorded. So that's one of the songs that is being very well received, as well as There Goes My Heart and Lost and Found is probably the three songs that I seems like people wants to hear more and more of me playing. So yeah.
awesome, awesome. So, kind of along the same lines, if you had to choose one of your songs to sell yourself to a next potential fan base, what song are you going to give them?
If sorry, repeat, come again.
So, say you met a person that potentially could be your next big fan. What song are you going to tell them to listen to sell yourself?
Oh boy, probably There Goes My Heart. Probably that's probably the one song that I'd say go listen to if something that you want to hear what I'm doing. That's probably represents me a lot. The intro and I mean the whole thing. I mean the whole album, but probably that was that's because it came from a place, from a very deep place for me. So that's probably what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I kind of go through, and there's a bunch of random like industry questions and stuff like that too, so we can kind of mix it up a little bit, right? We don't
Sure,
have to
go
be
for it.
deep all the time. So then, one thing I like to ask too is like, because you probably started similar time frames to when I did, so like things like digital streaming and shit like that, like it wasn't
Oh,
a
it wasn't there.
huge thing, right?
It wasn't there, and I know. Yeah.
So when it comes to that, like, how do you feel that the internet has impacted the music business from what it used to be?
I think he benefited and he ruined it. I think benefited really bad. And I'm on, and this is the thing, Jeff. And I mean, and everybody, I mean, everybody knows me a little bit more than just. Everybody knows me a little bit more than just me on stage. Knows that I'm a very brutally honest person. I got no filter. That's every time Kelly and I go out, she's always careful. Like, shh, those things. But I can, it's it, it, it did serve the law because I mean, you know the fan base and your growth. It's very insane, and thanks to the internet. But and accessibility to listen to everybody. I mean, you don't have to go to a store to buy a record. I mean, I still do. I still do go to stores and buy records, and I mean, it's just something I've been doing since I was a kid. But that doesn't mean on the tip of your fingers, you can Google any song. You can Google any song. You can learn everything, which is a very good thing as well. But in terms of industry, I think it helped it because you get to be more exposed. You got more exposure globally now. You don't have exposure by locally, but globally in the entire world because it's out there. And then you also ruin it because I mean Spotify and Apple Music, and I mean, whatever they can get mad at me saying this, but Spotify and Apple Music, they've been ripping off musicians since, and I've been saying this the whole time. And you know this, you got music
Yeah.
out there, you're everywhere as well. The Midnight Renegade has been everywhere, and the thing is, like, you know how we're being ripped off and how it is about that. But but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's good and bad, right? I mean, isn't it? But yeah, no, I think it's served in a good way. I mean, for us as musicians, I mean, we get exposed globally and you get to be streamed everywhere. But so as you have these bigger industries, like bigger platforms and bigger businesses that take your music and they, hey, let me give you a boost, and then they pay you like what 0.02 cents per stream. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah. Before you pay your rent, there's gonna be a while.
yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah.
So then, with that, if you could change anything about the industry, what would you change?
If I could change anything about the industry, it's I would change a lot actually. Telling you the truth, I would change a lot because I mean it's okay. We think this is what's happening nowadays, and what are the things, and there's two perspectives of that. A personal perspective is that I'm a father and I have girls and stuff, and a boy. And the thing is, like, what you see on stage is not always the truth. And the thing is, like, the industry is more based right now on how much you're selling, how you look first. It's all about how you look, and then that's the
You.
wrong. Those are the wrong reasons to start in it. I'm not saying all the labels are like that, and I'm not saying that all the music genres are like that, because I mean not all of them are, but most of them are, and the big, the big sharks out there. I think that there's a lots of inferiority complex and a lot of insecurities being built in today's world because of the music industry being represented in such a physical appearance way, other than actually the talent way and what the music means behind it. But I'm saying this from an all mind perspective, and again, I'm old school. Um, Also, our thing that I would do is pay musicians more. We're being paid the same way that we've been in 1970s, and if the inflation's took over, we're still being paid the same. I mean,
Yep.
it's like put some money to our pockets. That's probably the one that we appreciate. Because it takes lots of work. I mean, look, it took me how many years, how many decades it took me to learn how to play guitar and to make a record. It's like, I mean, and I mean, yeah, people, well, you choose that and you put a time. Yeah, that's right. But also remind yourself that it took me a lifetime to understand this whole process and everything. So I think those are the main two things that I would be like, not put so much things on to the appearance and put actually more thought into like connect to the person through the music would be a really good thing. And there's a scandal happening around the music industry. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you're probably following. I'm not gonna mention anything about it, but there's a scandal happening right now with all these artists that are being signed with big labels and being abused, and and all the drugs and everything that they're being forced to take, and all. It's disgusting from that point of view, and I don't want to go into it. But yeah, probably, yeah. Maybe also enable a platform that don't charge musicians to have their music on. That's probably another thing that it should be.
Right.
Yeah. Many of us are already broke, so
Ain't that the truth?
right. So it's like, yeah,
So when it comes to your career, what was the best advice you've ever been given?
be yourself.
That's a very common one, actually. I've
And
said it, and a lot of my guests on here have said it too. Is it doesn't matter who likes it, who doesn't like it, as long as you do and you're yourself. That's what matters.
oh, absolutely, and be grounded and humble, and I mean, but genuinely, you know, I don't get in my head, and I know I always tend not to get in my head because I know that there's always someone better than you, and there's always some, and I'm teachable. You see, I'm teachable, and I love to learn from others, and I love to learn from mistakes and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, definitely be yourself and have fun. Like that's probably the main thing. It's like have like you remember why you're doing it for, and also have fun up there. Have fun. That's probably the thing. That's yeah.
So then, what advice would you give to youth? Rather you've inspired them, or they're inspired by anybody else that are just wanting to start out?
Don't give up. Better you get harder you work. That's probably the thing. Better you get harder you work. It's like don't ever think you're great because there's always someone greater. You're good. You're pretty good. But you know, keep yourself humble with the feeling and be open. Be open minded about ideas in the studio and be open minded about your writing process and leave your ego at the door. Probably that's another thing. But don't quit. And remember that you are enough. You're enough. You're enough for who you are, but don't quit. And you know, don't be too hard on yourself as well. That's probably another thing. You know, it's learn from your mistakes, learn from, because I mean we all do. I mean, how many times on stage I hear my mistakes, even in my recordings. I know, and this is where
You
I'm at.
know it's there.
I know what I know what I did, and I know my mistakes. And maybe not everybody hears it. I mean, I know. Brown keeps telling me you are the only one who hears this, and me. Like, it's good.
Well, we are our own worst critic, right?
Exactly, exactly. But yeah,
So you had mentioned before, like you're wanting to kind of dip into the States a little bit, but aside from that, like, do you have any goals or aspirations for yourself musically throughout 2025?
yeah. I mean, I want to finish. I want to release this album, and it's been and I had to put it on hold because there's so much material to it, and we're debating what to do right now. Like I'm kind of got stuck. I'm like, oh, am I releasing this as a nine track or 12 track? Am I gonna cut the side A, side B, or am I gonna go with just release a fourth track or fifth track and release every like it's the marketing team and the marketing process about this thing. It's insanity right now because I mean I just want to put it out there, but it's not that easy right now, and you don't want to and it's so probably release that. Another goal I have is just play as much as possible. Play. I mean I know that I'm gonna be playing till I drop, but yeah, no, just play, man. And I want to come out there. I want to come towards Brandon, and I want to come out there and do something together soon too. So that's probably another thing with you because I miss you.
Yeah.
Hell
No, it's
yeah,
been a while, man. It's been a while. No, maybe
yeah,
well, when Danny and I are putting some stuff together, like I mean, shit, I went on like an avid writing spree, and so did he. So like he's got a bunch of different tracks. I probably in the last 2 months I've wrote shit probably close to 30 bloody tracks, like
yeah.
just 30
You've
songs. So
been in
now
it.
it's well, and we're you've probably seen some of them pop up too, like on your
Yeah,
feed and stuff, right? And it now it's just kind of putting the instrumentals to it and getting that right emotion to what the song story is about, right?
right.
That we're trying to build.
Yeah, and that's quite a process, and that takes a while, and it's. I know what you're going through. I'm near. I just kept spitting some songs, and every time I'm playing them, it's like, well, maybe this should be on a record. Maybe this should be, and it's like
You're
you get
constantly
into that,
spinning
and it's
through
like,
them.
yeah. So it's like some of them I put them on the side, and some of them I just keep working them and then like stuff. But yeah, but definitely we got to get together again. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Rather it's in Winnipeg or you come this way and we just jam out and hang out and
Oh, we have to. We have to definitely. Then we have to, man. Like it's been a while. I miss you. I miss you, and I miss all the gang that you have up there. You know, you
yeah,
guys.
a lot of the gang's not around much anymore. It's just little old me really, and then Danny's out here when he's
Danny,
out
yeah,
this
right.
way, and that's about it, right? Because with Blindside, it's just the two of us right now until we get a drummer and a bassist a little more full time. So it's kind of
Right.
the two of us
Yeah.
are doing everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, you know what? But they'll come along. They'll come along.
oh, absolutely. That's what we figure. Even if we got to turn around, we release them as like the full band dynamic where it's, me on drums and guitar and Danny on guitar and bass and
Yeah.
whichever one of us decides we want to sing because we both do, right? So it's kind of that however we choose to build that and then just break it down
Dual.
acoustically and go out and play acoustically till we line people up to play these things, right? Then let them
Mm.
put their artistic spin on things and run with it that
Yeah.
way. Right.
Yeah.
So we're
I,
hopeful.
I mean but that's what you did with Mirrors. You came down, it's like just play it.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much.
I
Right. Like
remember that.
listen to it, play what you
Yeah.
feel. I don't care.
Yeah. And that was the beauty of it. Yeah. Yeah, you guys should go check out actually that song Mirrors. It's on Spotify, right? I'm doing some promotional for you.
Thanks. Band's not together anymore, but check out our tunes. Well, Blindside will have some releases, so you can plug those for us too.
Oh my goodness, Jeff. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother. But if someone wants to find your music, can you kind of tell them where they can go? Do you still have
Yeah,
your
well,
website?
I mean, as I mentioned before, the big cast that rips us off, Apple Music and Spotify. It's not because it's true, but that's what I mean. Many of it is out there. The new album will be most likely will be streamed on there as well. It's digital copies only, and for now, as of right now, I'm taking digital copies only, but it's gonna come out with probably we'll see how the record does. If it does good, this record, and I might think about cutting some pretty limited vinyls on that. I would love to do that, but there's lots of things happening. There's like some videos to be cut, animated videos that are gonna come out of these songs later on YouTube and some of that stuff as well, and on Apple Music as well. Um, there's a lots of work happening this year, and it's just been going and going and going. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to share it with everybody. Like I'm dying for it. If it was up to me, it was already out yesterday. Just but it's and I gotta be obedient. I gotta be respectful towards other people that are involved in this and working hard, with me. So yeah, yeah, gotta behave.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit.
A little bit exactly.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So do you want to list off some of your socials so people can actually hop on whatever
Just
platform?
It's simple, very Robert Andreas, and Instagram I think is Robert Andreas official, and I have another profile, Robert Andreas Lobel, who is actually another profile that's growing faster than the other two, but for some reason. But yeah, any of that you can Google me as well, and it's if you Google Robert Andreas, it's gonna come out like the whole biography with where you can go and I guess and find my music there and stuff, and yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's
awesome. Well, do you have any questions for me, Robert?
You know what? Those are nice guitars behind you. I love those. Actually, look at the
Those
whole
are
time.
my babies.
Those are your babies. Look at that. That's a flying V. That's a flying V. That's an SG. And is that a Gretsch?
That is a Gratch with Bigsby's. Yeah,
Oh wow. Those
yeah. That's what
P90.
I played at the Sober Social. Well, I guess you were. I don't think you had showed up yet when we did our set.
No, because I was doing the Gimli Blues Fest that night. Remember? I came
Yeah,
from
and then
Gimli.
you flew down to play the Sober Social there too.
Oh my God, John and I had such a trip to come down to you that night. We were like in the middle of nowhere, like literally driving fast as possible in deers crossing the road.
But yeah, that's the Gretsch.
Yeah,
And then I just
that,
bought the.
I love the color. I love that color.
Oh, I love the electric blue. Yeah, it's
Oof,
very
beautiful.
beautiful unit. Here, I'll grab it. You can see it closer, but it's yeah, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Bixby arm. Yeah. What year is that thing?
what year?
Yeah.
It's actually it's a good question actually because I just got it. You know when What's Really Matters got nominated for the Country Music Award.
Yeah.
Remember that? I got
Yeah.
it the weekend of the music awards.
Oh wow. Okay. 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 That's actually very nice. I love that color.
Yeah, it doesn't even say on it what year. It's normally the tag inside the body, right? But
That's usually what it says. Yeah. But
it
that's
just
but those some of these great. You know, my brother Raz Evan. He's representing Reg Guitars, and he came down with one, and we did a show actually together at the basement. He's from England. He's a good friend of mine, and he has this beautiful green sparkling Gretsch, and I always been a fan of Gretsch. And I played a little bit, and I really love the feel of that. And yeah, you need to check this guy out, Evans. He's oh man, you have to check him out. He's a good guy. He's coming to Winnipeg actually. We should go see him together. I'll
there
introduce you
we
to
go.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
we should go
the
see him
plan.
together. Yeah. Well, I gotta fly. I gotta let you all go because it's about 9 o'clock. And it's about bedtime for this guy. But love you, man. Thank you so much. For everything and for the interview.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for coming on, man. Means a lot, and love you too.
Always
And we'll get together in the future, I'm sure.
sounds good. All right, my man. Have a good night. Have a
You
good night,
too.
bro. Bye. Bye all. Bye. 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 Bye.